What's up, everybody? Thanks again for stopping by for another edition of March 4th with Mike Bauman. I, of course, am your host, Mike Bauman. Whoever you are, wherever you are listening from, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. If you're a returning listener, I greatly appreciate your continued love and support. And if you're a brand new listener of the show, thank you so much for hopping aboard that pirate ship. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at March 4th Pod. The link tree with all of my stuff is in the podcast description for this episode. So that means if you made it here, then you found me somehow. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to check out another edition of the March 4th with Mike Bauman podcast. How is everybody doing, man? I hope as this episode is hitting your eardrums that life finds you well. I say it at the end of every show as a tribute to my grandma and my grandpa, which is keep the faith and be kind to one another and be kind to yourselves. And I hope that this show finds you well. And if not, I just ask that you keep your head up, you stick together, you look out for each other, and you lead with love and peace in your heart. I know there's a lot of gnarly, awful things going on in the world right now, and I am fully aware of them, and they make me sick to my stomach. But I'm also aware that a lot of platforms like these people use as a form of escapism to get away from some of the terrors of reality or difficulties in their job, difficulties at work, difficulties at home, and the horrible stuff that we see on the news. And I try to use this platform for positivity and bringing people together and, hopefully putting people on to artists that maybe they weren't aware of previously and, sharing conversations of perseverance and moving forward and hopefully conversations that inspire you to chase your dreams and persevere through whatever darkness it is that you're going through in your life. But all that being said, you know, it's it's hard when you see these things going on without addressing them. So, my message is always going to be one of love and peace. And it's scary to see the things that are going on right now in the world. And so, my message to you is to just love each other, look out for each other, regardless of race or creed or country of origin, man. We're all connected as human beings, and we all deserve to be treated with love and respect and dignity. And with all the horrible things going on in the world right now, uh, please just remember that every time you step out your front door, you have the power within you to change the world for the better or for the worse. And I just ask that you keep the faith, you be kind to one another, you be kind to yourselves, um, and you live a peaceful life where, you look out for the people next to you, the people who don't have the means that you have, people who don't have the voice that you have, and that we take care of each other, man. I really believe that love will change the world. Um, we've gotten through worse in this world. We've gotten through worse as a country and as a people. And for us to make it better again, we have to stick together and we have to look out for each other. So again, I know a lot of times, like I said, people use these platforms as a form of escapism, or whether it's sports or music or movies. They're things that we use to tune out. And this show is not a political show. This show is not a breaking news show. But at the same time, recording this episode in light of recent events here in the United States, I just felt like there's no way I could have started this and put this episode out this week without you know addressing what happened, man. It's awful, it's disgusting, it's shameful, it's inexcusable. Um and it's a dystopia really in a lot of ways that we're living in right now, but again, keep the faith, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, exercise your right to free speech, exercise your right to peaceful protest, make your voice heard at the voting booth, and let your words be kind to your neighbors. And let's prove that we're better than the despicable behavior that we're seeing right now from some of our leaders and some of the people in this country. And let's remind each other of our humanity and how good we are and how much love we have in our hearts to look out for each other. So that's me speaking my piece on it, man. I hope that you guys take care of each other. I know on a lighter note, but still a serious note, I know a lot of the United States is getting hit with some gnarly weather right now, myself included. So I just ask that you stay safe, you stay warm. I hope you're able to keep your power, and I hope you're stocked up on all the foods. And hopefully, people like me can, give you a little entertainment while you're at home. Maybe working remotely or knocking through some spreadsheets or whatever the case may be, man. Hopefully, I can bring a little positivity to you. And speaking of positivity, I'm just going to get right into this week's guest. These guys have been on my radar for a couple of years now. Obviously, those of you who listen to the show regularly know that I'm a big heavy music fan. I love all facets of it. I love all the subgenres of it, man. And again, I try to use this platform to bring people together. And I'm glad that this episode was able to come together. These guys, I think we ended up following each other on TikTok, and I think I first saw these guys on Instagram. And so it was awesome to finally get them on the podcast. They are none other than Light the Fire out of Dallas, Texas. These guys have been around for about a decade and a half now. They just came out with their latest record, Death Won't Be the End of Me, back in November of 2024. Some of my faves off of that one are Eulogy, Counterfeit, Harbors, Decompose. Their previous album before that was Compassion in Unlikely Places. That came out at the beginning of 2019. Some of my faves off of that one are True North, The Departed, A Thousand Reasons, and The Void. And The Void has done exceptionally well for them. That song alone has gone over 1.4 million Spotify streams alone. Their latest single, Inhuman, just came out in December. And as we're recording this one, I think this is a little bit of a teaser, and I hope that I'm not going to get in trouble or that I don't get the singer from Light the Fire in trouble on this one, but they are on the cusp of releasing another new single right around the time this episode drops. But Inhuman is their latest one. It's an awesome song. The music video is also really sick. As of recording this episode, just under 2 months, the video's already got over 21,000 views. It's doing really well. And these guys just got a lot of fun stuff going on right now. They joined the Filthy Breakdowns family as of December 2025. And in particular, from Light the Fire on this one, we were able to get vocalist Seth Davis. And it was really cool to talk to him, man, about his time with the band, their latest album, how music has been part of his life since he was young and where he's coming from as a lyricist and poetry and how therapeutic and cathartic that has been for him and his life and just all this awesome stuff going on with Light the Fire right now, man. I'm really excited for these guys. They put out a few new singles in 2025, like I said, the latest one being Inhuman, and they've got some fun stuff in store for 2026. So without further ado, I'm going to shut my big yapper and give you guys my conversation with vocalist Seth Davis of Light the Fire. Here it is. Alrighty, well, there we go. Well, Seth, thanks again so much, man, for taking the time to do the show. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys have been on my radar for a little bit now, going back to Instagram, and then seeing the videos on TikTok, and really was a fan of the latest album, Death Won't Be the End of Me, and really been loving what you guys have been doing. So thanks so much for coming on here, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. Well, just as like a place to start, dude, like I always like to ask people, especially with heavy music, it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme, like when you find another heavy metal fan like out in the world, you know what I mean? Um, it's definitely like a brotherhood and a sisterhood just of the people that are in it. For you, dude, when did heavy music bite you? Like, what's your earliest musical memory, or just specifically, I guess, with heavier music that you're like, this is different for me. I just want to see where this goes.
Yeah, so I was either 15 or 16. That's really when I started playing shows. But I was more into like radio rock because I didn't have like any older brother or sister to like show me heavy stuff. My parents listened to like Journey and Bon Jovi and stuff like that. But I started a band. We were kind of like a hard rock band, and the only place that kind of booked like heavier stuff was this little bar in our hometown. And so I went to go play my first show, and it was like heavy bands, like, screaming and breakdowns. And that's really the first time I'd kind of heard some of that stuff. And I was just watching these other bands, like, okay, this is awesome. Like, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know, like, you could just go ham and like, so, yeah, it kind of changed for me then when I saw some of these underground, like, deathcore, hardcore bands. And I was like, oh, I just wanted to sound like Breaking Benjamin. Like, I didn't know you could do these other things. So that's really, yeah, that's when I was kind of opened up to it. And then like the sense of community that was around that music, like everybody just kind of like they knew these are my people. Like we're all here to do the same thing and have fun. And it was just like it kind of gave me a place where I felt like, okay, these are now my people too. Like I belong here, and now I got to learn how to scream. So,
What was that journey like finding the hardcore voice?
um, well, I really liked. I got into like hate breed stuff like that, and yeah, it would just be me in my room, like, all right, I got to figure this out. I think at first I tried like the whisper scream stuff because I was like, how are they doing this? And then like able to talk, but like I just slowly like developing it where it didn't hurt anymore, basically, and that I could do a full set of it without losing my voice. But it was very gradual. There wasn't really YouTube then. When I was like, 15, 16 years old, it was not quite a thing yet. So there wasn't like tutorials you could go watch. You just kind of had to listen to like whatever vocalist you thought was cool and like try to figure it out. I mean, just took some time.
So for you, man, you mentioned going to that show and seeing really heavy bands. What's is that venue still around? You want to give it a shout out?
It was actually called the Blues Bar. Um, and I don't think it's around anymore, probably. At the time, my parents had moved to like East Texas, and there's not a whole lot in East Texas, but they did have that one bar that had heavier music. But yeah, it was called the Blues Bar. It was not a great venue, but it was cool because it was so underground and like lots of cool bands played there.
Now for you, man, you mentioned like that was kind of your introduction to the heavy stuff, but is anybody else in your family musical, Seth? Like, or was that something that you just kind of gravitated to on your own?
Everybody in my family is musical. My mom and dad, they would go and play shows at the Grand Ole Opry. They were kind of like pop country type stuff. And then both my sisters, they play instruments, sing, choir, whole thing. So yeah, we grew up around music. Grew up with the piano in the house, and we were always around music.
So then with Light the Fire, man, like you guys, if I did my research correct, is it go back to like early 2010s? Was it like 2011 when the band started? How did Light the Fire come together?
Yeah, and they were actually a band before me. I was in another band, but we'd play shows together, and I always thought, we became friends. We were cool, and and then they lost a guitar player because I also play guitar, and I was like, hey, I'm not doing a whole lot right now. Like, let me come play guitar for y'all. And they're like, all right. So I tried out, and it worked out. And then I think I'd been in the band about a year, probably, if that long. And that's when we signed a record deal, which would have been 2015. And then after we put out the first album on the record label, we lost the singer. And I was already doing a ton of like backup vocals and screaming anyway. And so the logical thing was, and I wrote a lot of the vocals and lyrics too. So I just was like, all right, I guess I'm the singer now. And then we found Trey, and he started playing guitar for us, and then we just kind of stuck with that ever since. It was kind of a natural progression anyway. Like I said, live I did a ton of the backup vocals, and then I did some of the vocals on the that first album too. So, or actually, it was yeah, the first album. I did some vocals on that, and I did quite a few on the second album. But yeah, it was just kind of an easy transition, and then we're like, okay, this works. Let's not mess with this, and we just kind of kept going with it.
Yeah, dude, these last two records that y'all have put out, man, I've really enjoyed. Death Won't Be the End of Me being the latest one. That was November of 2024, right?
Hmm.
And I believe you guys recorded that one. Was it with is it Beau Burchell?
Hmm.
Say, what was
Yeah,
that experience like linking up with him? Because he out in California? Did you guys go out there record?
yeah. He's in Temecula. But all right, so that's kind of a cool story because Saosin's one of I couldn't tell him this. Maybe I'll have to send him this and be like, all right, dude, cat's out of the bag here. But yeah, Saosin's one of my favorite bands of all time. Like love they've like just inspired me musically. I've loved them forever. And then so we got that where we're gonna go record with him, and I was like, all right, well that's pretty cool. But I can't let him know like that I'm a huge fan. I think he probably knew because the first day, like, I kind of as a joke, I had a Saosin shirt on and just walked in the studio, and he was kind of like, "Hey, like that's my band." But yeah, he's man, he is awesome. He's a really down to earth, cool guy, super nice guy, and just like he knows his shit. He's a kind of a madman behind the mixing board. Um, but really nice guy. Highly recommend. I love the finished product. I love what the mixing, everything he did with it. So yeah, highly recommend him for any bands that might be looking for somebody to record with. Bo's a cool guy, very cool guy, and he's connected to a lot of people in the scene as well. So overall, super positive experience. I'm glad that we got to record with him.
How did that come about, man? Did you guys hit him up, or what did you guys kind of have like a list of like some producers you want to work with, or people that were on your short list?
Yeah, we had heard some other stuff he had recorded with some other bands, and we're just like, wow, it's more of a raw sound. He knows how to make it sound real, like real instruments. And that's kind of what we wanted for this newer stuff. And so, I mean, yeah, basically we just heard some stuff he done and be like, okay, that's kind of what we want. And then, yeah, I think my bass player, Andrew, just hit him up and was like, hey, dude, we'd like to record with you. And now we have an album.
I really loved it, man. It's a great front to back listen. It's some of my faves off of it. It's always hard. Like I always feel in some ways I feel bad telling like artists my favorites because I know they're probably like all the songs are probably like your babies, but Eulogy, Counterfeit, Harbors, like that one was kind of like that song, the melodies in that one I really love. Decompose, like the whole record is sick, man. But I really enjoyed it as a front to back listen. And I wanted to ask about the artwork too, because did you guys also do a music video in that house too? What was kind of the story behind that house cover art?
Okay, so the you got to ask Trey about the cover art. He's the one that found it and presented it to us, and we are like, yeah, it's awesome. The house that we did the video in is actually a buddy's house. It's not the same house. He just happened to have like a super sick looking like it reminded us of like an A24 movie, like the way that it's the house looks, and we are just like, okay, this house is sick. Let's do a music video in it. Like that was pretty much, and it kind of tied in with the artwork, having the house on it. So it just we just thought it was cool, and it just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, I like what you said about how like the production kind of like what you guys were going for too, man, because just like me, I love metalcore and I love hardcore too. And Killswitch is one of my favorite bands. And
Same.
yeah, this record I felt like it really kind of gave me sort of like that early mid 2000s, and it still sounds fresh. So I don't want you to hear what I'm not saying. Like y'all's it sounds really fresh, but I love like the breakdowns, some of the lighter moments. Like there's the part on Eulogy where it kind of slows down a little bit, kind of like the tempo. Um I really like the fact that like the guitars, the bass, the way your vocals sound, like that production style is really cool because I feel like if you listen to that record and you go see you guys live, it would be pretty simpatico.
Yeah, I feel like it does that, and that's another reason that we did want it to be a little more raw, not so polished metalcore uh, production. Because I mean, live we're kind of like an intense band live, and we just I never feel like on our past stuff it quite captured like the emotion and stuff that you would see at a live show. And I feel like this it just captures that a lot better, captures us and what we would actually sound like live, and not like a super slick, polished production. I mean, it still is, but it's more raw than our our previous albums, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it really did turn out great, man. I loved it. And the music videos that you guys put out too, like the emotion in those are almost like short films. Do you guys have like go-to people you work for or that you work with for those?
Honestly, no. Um, I think we've used the same director twice in some older videos. Um, no, we don't have like a set person that we go to. We just it's basically the video. Like we'll have a vision for the video that we think matches the song, and we kind of try to choose whoever we think is going to capture what's in our heads the best. And so we'll go and watch other people's work, what they've done. And I mean, we've used quite a few different almost every video has a different director, I believe. I'm trying to think if there's anybody we've used recently more than once. I don't think so. So it's basically watching their work and seeing what they do and seeing who we think could best capture the feeling of the song for the video.
Yeah, and shout out to Inhuman, man, the latest one that from December. So as this is hitting people's ears, like it'll be about 2 months since it's been out. It came out, I think, December 5th, but I saw the video for that one's already over like 21,000 views on YouTube. And I know you guys have done some stuff too with is it BVTV?
Yeah,
Like syncing up with them, but that video turned out sick too, man. The vibe of that song too is so awesome. That's a lot of raw emotion in that one, and a lot of your songs too, man. Like lyrically, what's it like for you, Seth? Like in terms of just the poetry aspect of being a vocalist, like you mentioned, being a guitarist too, and kind of making that transition. But has putting pen to paper always been something that's been part of your life for a while? Like even before you were singing, did you used to do poetry and stuff as a kid?
oh yeah. I've always and I used to write like stories. I've always just kind of had that creative bug. But yeah, I used to write songs as long as I can remember. I've written like songs in my head, and I'll write down lyrics. And yeah, I've just always had that. I don't know. It's a gift and a curse kind of. It's just always there.
Yeah, and the title of the latest album, "Death Won't Be the End of Me,"
Mhm.
um, and obviously, people who listen to the record and some of the lyrical themes, man. But the place that you guys were coming from on this one, and even you just as a vocalist, Seth, like, can you expound upon that a little bit? Because the previous album, "Compassion in Unlikely Places," also awesome. Really loved "True North," "The Departed," "A Thousand Reasons." "The Void" was sick too, and that was one I think I have Spotify. That one went over like almost 1.5 million streams. So kudos to you guys on that.
Thanks, man.
But with COVID, I know it kind of it messed up everybody, obviously, to put it mildly. But the break that you guys had between records and then doing the touring that you did, where were you coming from lyrically with this one, man? And just the name of that album title, because I think, again, with this podcast, like mental health being a tie-in, that was something where I was like, oh, death won't be the end of me. I was just curious about kind of the meaning behind that, if you're willing to share.
Yeah. So the title "Death Won't Be the End of Me" is it can be taken a lot of different ways, which I kind of want it to be taken a lot of different ways. To me, it is it's well, it's spiritual for one. If you believe, in the afterlife, it's like, well, death isn't it. There is something beyond this, and that's mainly what I take from it. But I also, it's just kind of a hard title. So it'd be like, death can't even stop me. Like, I'm going to keep going no matter what. I kind of look at it as that way too. Those are the kind of the two. It just, it sounded cool. And other guys, it might mean something else to them. But to me, it's what comes after death. The death isn't the end, and then also death won't stop me. I'll keep going.
And Eulogy's the lead off track, right? If
Hmm.
my memory serves me right, that's the lead off song going onto the
Yeah.
record. Was that intentional with the album title and everything too?
Um, Yeah, as far as like the order of the songs on the album, we mainly go off more so like the feeling. Like we kind of want like a big, opening and then kind of a grand finale. So that would be the main uh reason for that. But yeah, that's all your reason's a lot cooler though. Yeah, we totally did that on purpose.
I wasn't sure. I was just kind of trying to put two together. I'm like, okay, eulogy, death won't be the enemy. It's like the first track on the record. Okay, uh, and shout out, yeah, like that album. It's again a really good front to back listen. And but again, shout out the previous record too, man. Compassion and Unlikely Places. I feel bad for you guys and a lot of bands that had albums that came out like either within like a year or like 6 months, 7 months, year and a half, before COVID. Did you guys get to play on that live much before the pandemic happened, or?
Um, yeah, we played. I'm trying to remember if we did a tour before then. I think we did. I think we did a tour. It was mostly like a southern tour, if I remember right. Man, that seems like a long time ago now. I guess it was 6 years. Um, but yeah, and then but when COVID happened, it just, yeah, it was kind of shut everything down. We didn't know like, all right, I guess we have to go get vaccinated because we don't know if like we're gonna have to do that to tour. We didn't know. Everything was just kind of up in the air, and yeah, it was not a good time for anybody that is creative. That well, it was a great time for people that want to be creative that were at home and had time to do it. But ones that wanted to go tour, it was not a very good time. But we got through it. I don't think I don't think it really slowed us down any. It was just like, all right, this is a time to kind of refocus, what we want to do, what our goals are. We wrote a lot during that time. And but then yeah, once it was kind of over, we were like, all right, let's plan our next one. Let's go.
Are there any shows that stick out to you over the years? And thanks again, Seth, for taking the time to do this, man. Like, going back and doing some research on this one, it looked like 2023 was kind of a big tour, but also you kind of opened up on social media at that time about, kind of what you were going through on that tour. Was it like you had to get surgery on your hand or something, if my memory serves me right?
Yeah, I think we were in Tulsa, and I didn't have to have surgery. I had to get stitches. I was on stage, and they had like these big like air duct like things, and I swung my fist during a song, and it just like laid my hand open. And I mean, I finished the show, but it was just there was blood everywhere. There's a picture of me and Andrew that's hilarious, where Andrew has like a little bitty blood splatter on his face, and he's like looking over at me like, "Can you get this off my face?" There was just blood everywhere, but it was fine. And we finished the show and went to the emergency room, got some stitches, and but yeah, mentally, it kind of that for some reason that tour I did not feel great like leading up to the tour. I don't know. I don't know if it was anxiety or it just it was a lot. But I was like, whatever, I got to do this. You know, there's people counting on me, so we went, and then that happened on that same tour where I just was not quite right, and yeah, it kind of added to um just everything going on in my life. But and our I'll be honest, our home show. So we played. I think we were out for about a week, and then we were back here in Dallas, and we were going to play. It's kind of the middle of the tour, and we played that show, and I was like, guys, I need to go home. Just let me go home and sleep in my own bed for tonight. I'll get up and meet y'all in the morning, and then we can finish the rest of the tour. And I did that. And when I met back up with them, I was fully ready to be like, I can't finish this out. Like, I'm not okay. This has just been kind of one thing after another. And really Trey, my guitar player, he was like, yeah, I mean, if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. He's like, but I know you. And he's like, I know you're gonna look back and kind of regret that you didn't finish it out. He's like, you do what you need to do, but I know you, and I know that's how you're gonna feel. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, he is right. I'm gonna be mad at myself if I don't finish this out. So we did, and that next week Like that whole next week of the tour was so much fun. It was so good. Like all the shows were awesome. We got to play some really cool venues. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I just kept going and like ended up having a great time and made great memories and met so many cool people. Like sometimes that's all it takes is just somebody that you're close to and you trust to go, all right, you can do that, but I know you. And yeah, he was right. And it was great.
I appreciate you sharing that, man. Because like I told you at the jump, like I don't like to take people any places they don't want to go. But just with the theme of the show being March 4th, like I think it's important for people to know that even artists, man, go through stuff, and you go through
Yeah.
things on the road and you go through things on tour, making records and just the catharsis that music is for you guys as musicians. And yeah, like you said, sometimes that's all it takes is like a conversation with somebody close to you to kind of help give you a sense of peace. Cause it kind of sounded like you were worried about, letting people around you down. And it
Yeah.
almost is like when he gave you that option of like, hey man, it's cool. Like we're here for you either way. But I feel like, looking back, maybe you'll wish you were part of it. It maybe helped lift the burden for you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I've been thankful enough that all of us in the band, we're all very understanding of each other, like what's going on. And uh we always just kind of make it through whatever it is that we're going through. And I'm very appreciative to have those guys and just the fact we can open up and have that dialogue and say, hey man, like I don't know if I can do this. Like it's that's very important, especially when you're with people, people as much as we are together. You have to be able to talk about things and get through it together. It's just, or you're not going to make it. That's why bands break up. That's why all the ugly stuff happens with bands. And thankfully, like we are able to communicate very effectively. And yeah, I appreciate about those guys.
That's great to hear, man. Yeah, because even when I was looking back and I'm like, man, they were founded back in 2011, and I'm gonna be 38 here soon, so it's weird. Like I'm at that stage of life where I'm like, I remember 2011 like it was yesterday, but it's also like,
Right.
15 years, man, for a band. And I know, like you said, you were in a different band initially, but even with the time that you've been with the group, man, like that's a long time. It's a lot of body of work, a lot of music. So kudos to you guys, man, for sticking through it. And also congrats on all the streams, man. Like you guys announced it.
Thanks,
This was
man.
years ago, so I don't even know what the number is now. And I know sometimes it gets a little, talking about numbers, but I do think that is a testament to the talent and the musicianship too. I think I saw something that you posted like well over 4 million streams like on Spotify alone, and that was a few years ago. So I don't even know what it
Yeah.
is now with the new album, but congrats on that, man. To be able to reach that many people, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it is cool. And I'll be honest, I tried not to pay attention to the numbers because I'm just like, with the art, like I want to kind of do what I want to do as far as writing and like I feel like when you start looking at those numbers, you're like, well, this song's got like way more than this one, so maybe we need to do some more like that. Like I just don't want that to like paint the writing process. Now, of course, uh, like Andrew in the band, like he helps. He's kind of almost like a manager in a way too. And yes, he pays attention to all that stuff. And I'm of course very grateful for like anybody that took the time to listen. But as far as like just where are we at today, I can't do it, man. It messes with me. Same with reading like the like YouTube comments and stuff. Like every once in a while I'm like, do I want to see what's being said? And I'll click on it and be like, no, no, can't pay attention to that. It's I don't know. I just want to like stay focused on the music and on that's what's important to me. And when all the other stuff gets introduced into the music, I feel like it taints it a little bit because you're not just fully writing because you need it. Like emotionally, you need to get this song out of you. You start writing for, well, is this going to get more streams than the last single did? And I think that's another downfall of some musicians that they pay attention so much to that. And like, sure, you have to have numbers and you have to do all that to be successful and for it to be a career, but it's a fine line. You can get sucked into that, paying attention to all that, and the art suffers for it, I think.
Yeah, now it's like all the marketing that bands have to do too on the come up, or even after a certain level of success, like just the the shorts and the reels, even podcasting. I'm like, I always like, oh, I got to do more. I always feel like I got to do more. And on one end, it's like good to, put yourself out there, but keeping the focus on like the art or the core of what you do is always going to be, I think, the most important thing. And like, and it's cool
Yeah.
to hear you say that, man, that like writing the music that you want to write, because I feel like the stuff that's the most authentic to you, it's going to connect with people. And the proof is in the pudding with with what you guys are doing, man. Well,
Well, thank you,
before I
man.
oh, Seth, oh, you're welcome, dude. Really appreciate what you're doing. Um, I appreciate the time you took for this, man. So I wanted to do a little callback here, because you mentioned Killswitch being one of your favorite bands. Uh, I'm not going to ask you to rank their catalog or anything like that, but if there is a record of theirs that you had to put in a time capsule for people 3,000 years from now on Neptune or something, is there one for you that like front to back, like it's your listen? For me, it's Alive or Just Breathing. It's that first one, but I was going to ask.
Same, same. But man, I love Howard Jones so much too. It's hard, but yeah, Alive or Just Breathing, the lyrics on that album, man. I love the lyrics on that album. So yeah, same for me. First album, My Last Serenade.
Yeah, and shout out to Howard too, man. I think my favorite Howard record, and it's hard, man, but again, trying to pick favorites, but As Daylight Dies is that's such a good one. That was one, I think that was the first album, like front to back album of theirs that I had gotten, and it got me back into like everything else. So As
Yeah.
Daylight Dies is probably my favorite Howard record, and all the stuff he's been doing too is sick, man. Like, and it's so cool to see the reconciliation with those guys too.
Yeah, for
When
sure.
Killswitch and Light the Torch went out on tour, and I'm so bummed I didn't get a chance to see that when it came through Nashville. But yeah, Jesse and Howard are like, yeah, metalcore legends, man. Um, and you guys, you teamed up with another recent thing that you guys announced is you teamed up with Filthy Breakdowns, right? As of like
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
What's that relationship been like with them so far?
Really good. We I can't say a whole lot about some of that stuff, but yeah, very cool people, very, very good people.
Well, and going into this year, dude, obviously awesome 25, Inhuman coming out. What can you tell me and the people about what you guys have in store for 2026? I mean, obviously I don't want to let the cat out the bag with anything that you guys haven't officially announced yet, but even for you as just like a songwriter and a front man, like any goals or anything that you're really looking forward to going into the new year, man?
Well, we do have a new single coming out January 30th, which is a Friday. Um, yeah, it we have a new single coming out. I don't even know if I can say the title or not. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I'm not good at all this, like what I'm supposed to and what I'm not supposed to say. It's like I'm excited about it. I can tell you that. But yeah, January 30th, new single dropping. Y'all check it out, please.
Yeah, and then before we officially wrap it up, and thanks again so much, Seth, for the time, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Oh, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. I could geek out about like metalcore and hardcore and heavy music all day because I've been listening to it for a long time. It's got me through a lot of stuff. But for you, man, I mean, and obviously this podcast is for entertainment purposes. Like I'm not a doctor. Um, but just, we're at the beginning of the year with 2026 as this is going to be hitting people's ears. And you've even talked about, going back to you being a kid, like how long you've been writing poetry and writing songs, like, and it sounds like that's been really therapeutic for you in your life, and wanting to make the art that you want to make devoid of streams or being influenced by kind of this modern media kind of culture that we're in. But anything that's worked for you, Seth, in your life that's helped you get through, tough times, or even still like kind of go to things that you might feel like, be beneficial to somebody else out there who might be struggling and looking for the light when they're kind of in the darkness.
Yeah, I mean, writing has helped me tremendously. Whether it's just, it doesn't even have to be a song or rhyme or anything else. Just writing down how you feel can be cathartic. It can be just, I don't know. It makes me feel better. I think a lot of people should try that if they haven't. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to make sense even. Just writing down how you feel. I think that can be great for people. I mean, if it wasn't for me finding that outlet, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I would be without having having that there in my life just to vent, if anything, just to vent. Maybe that's why we do like angry music. It's just me venting. So then I go back to my real life and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm happy. I'm good. Like I'll go yell at other people on stage and then I'm fine. I'm fine after that.
I think they've actually done research that shows people who listen to heavy music tend to be more relaxed because you get it out in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably like the same as going to one of those rage rooms or whatever. It's kind of probably the same thing. You get it out and then you're good after that.
Well, Seth, this has been awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking your time with me on a Monday night. And again, I don't want to get you in trouble, but we'll just tell people there's a new single coming January 30th. By the time this comes out, it'll be right in that time too. So it'll be, I,
Awesome. Cool.
I think we'll be all right. But thank you again so much for your time, dude. Again, big fan of what you guys are doing. I've been having you guys in on my radar for a little while now, and really enjoyed Death Won't Be the End of Me, and going back and listening to some of the older stuff too, man. And really excited for you guys and what's in store for 2026. So for people who aren't aware, man, I'll put up the links in the podcast description, but let them know where they can find Light the Fire out there.
You can find us on all streaming platforms on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much anywhere you social media. We're there.
Well, Seth, thanks again so much, brother. I really appreciate the time, and I wish y'all nothing but the best in 2026. And if you guys ever come through Nashville, man, I'm gonna have to come out to a show.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. We appreciate you and thank you for having me on, man.
All righty, dighty, there you have it. That was my conversation with vocalist Seth Davis of Light the Fire out of Dallas, Texas. Make sure you go follow these guys on Instagram at Light the Fire _TX. The links to all of their stuff will be in the podcast description for this episode, so you'll know what to do. Scroll down to the bottom of that podcast description, hit those links, and go follow and support my new friends and Light the Fire. You will not be disappointed if you are a fan of metalcore and hardcore, melodic metalcore, heavy music, great breakdowns, heartfelt lyrics. Once again, their latest album, Death Won't Be the End of Me, is out now, available wherever you get your music. So go run up the numbers on the streams for that. Go check out their awesome music videos like Seth and I talked about. They put a lot of thought and creativity into those. And once again, their latest single, Inhuman, is also available now wherever you get your music. Also has a sick video. And as you guys just heard in that conversation from Seth, and once again, Seth, I hope I don't get you in trouble, buddy. But they are on the cusp of releasing a new single. And I believe it might be January 30th. So that would be this Friday. So keep your eyes out for all of that. But in the meantime, just go check out this band if you're a fan of Counterparts, The Devil Wears Prada, The Ghost Inside, Wage War. I also think if you're a fan of Killswitch Engage, you'll really love these guys. And again, shout out to Seth for taking the time to do the podcast. I really appreciated the conversation, my guy, and a big fan of what you're doing. You got a hell of a voice, and I can tell you're really singing from your soul with these songs. And big fan of what you guys are doing, and really excited for what's in store for 2026. So once again, everybody at Light the Fire _TX on Instagram. They're also on TikTok and YouTube. All the links are in the podcast description. So stay tuned for what's to come for Light the Fire in 2026. And if you did enjoy this conversation and Seth and/or Light the Fire brought you here, and this is your first time aboard the pirate ship, once again, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at March 4th Pod. And if you would be so kind as to leave a rating and a review for this show, like and subscribe, share this episode, tell your friends to tell their friends. All of those things go a long way in helping get this podcast out to more people. And ultimately, that's what I want, man. I want to put more people onto dope bands and artists like Light the Fire and Seth, and want to make sure that people have in these trying times forms of escapism that feed their soul and feed their mind. And if you're a fan of metalcore and you're a fan of hardcore, I really think that you will dig these guys. They're awesome, and this is music for your soul, man. I was just listening to it earlier as I was working out, getting ready for this, and Really just a big fan of the latest record, Death Won't Be the End of Me. It's just such a great front to back listen. And once again, my favorites from that one: Eulogy, Counterfeit, Harbors is awesome, Decompose, like the whole thing is sick. So go check it out. So on that note, I'm going to officially wrap things up. I hope that everybody has an awesome rest of the week. Again, let's take care of each other. Let's love each other. Love your neighbors. You love yourself. You know, you know, I believe in a higher power, and I believe that love is like the central force of the universe. So I don't care if you're Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Orthodox Jewish, if you have no religion, if you don't believe in anything, man, I just want people to take care of each other, y'all. So let's be good to each other, keep the faith, and be kind to one another, and be kind to yourselves. From Light the Fire, here is their latest single, Inhuman. Peace.